Welcome to The One Thing, where each episode features our signature segment, Pandora's Box. We dive into hot topics that challenge the norm and ignite real conversation.
Inspired by Greek mythology, Pandora's Box isn't just about chaos. It's about truth, transformation and hope. That's what we bring to every conversation.
Have a cause or business that deserves to be seen? Want to be remembered forevermore? Be our next special guest. Contact us today at theonething@edgeradioaustralia.com.
Hello everyone and welcome to The One Thing on Edge Radio Australia. And today I am accompanied by Lisa, my co-host, and Aaron.
Always a pleasure.
And we have a very special guest on today, Dr. Ann. I met Dr. Ann a few years ago. Actually, it was more than a few years ago, and we didn't really realise who we were until recently. And Dr. Ann is from Pets at Peace, and today we are making the right euthanasia decision for your pet. She comes with a wealth of knowledge, and I'm going to hand over to Lisa, who's going to do a little bit of a bio.
Oh, thank you. That's so exciting. I've been telling everyone that I've been speaking to this week about this show, because I think for everybody, even if they don't have furry friends, not pets, furry friends in their household, they certainly know somebody that does, or they can relate. So, and this is the first time I've met Dr. Ann today, and it's just an absolute pleasure to make your acquaintance. So welcome to the Edge Studio. So Dr. Ann is the owner of Pets at Peace Vet. She provides peaceful at-home euthanasia, also known as the Rainbow Bridge, which is lovely, appointments for beloved furry and fluffy family members. She's a dedicated veterinary surgeon. She also brings a holistic approach to her work as a trained facilitator of thought field therapy. We'll have to explore that. Neurolinguistic Programming, which I have a little bit of an idea on, but I'm sure a lot won't, and access consciousness. Through her unique blend of clinical expertise and integrative healing modalities, Dr. Ann supports families and their furry family with compassion, clarity, and deep emotional care during life's most tender transitions. Aaron, have you had any experience with this type of...
Have I had a pet that's passed
Yes.
away? Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm not smiling about it because, it's a horrendous thing, let's face it. So you kind of smile through. You got to fake it through a little bit. But when you lose someone, and it is someone, it's not something. It's it's an animal. It's part of your family. It breaks your heart. It's a big transition. So for myself, on a personal note, I've had a lot of animals. Literally used to live on a farm. Quite a menagerie at that. But I think one of the hardest decisions once in my life, I had to have my German Shepherd put down, and just watching him in pain was horrendous. And to make that decision was so tough. You carry a lot of weight with it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. In fact, just on my way over here, I was talking to a young lady, been looking after her little fluffy girl a couple of days ago, and she said, I actually feel bad saying this, but she said, this is like 100 times worse than when I lost a family member.
Oh, really?
I thought that losing my human family member was hard,
Wow.
But she said, this is like unexpected
Grief.
like next level grief. And it just goes around and around my mind. Should I have done something else? Did I miss something? Could I have done something better? Did I do the right thing before, while I had her? Like, is there something that I could have done different? And what I said to her was, all of those thoughts and feelings, not only are they normal, you are, congratulations, in the middle of the grief, the cycles of grief right now. But it also shows how deeply you love your girl and how committed you are to making sure that she got the best care. I said, I don't know you very well. I've only had a little bit of time with you and Bella, but 100% somebody with your care and attention and your love, I would be very happy to adopt you. If I was a pussycat,
Do you think that level of grief, because I would say that that's fairly typical
Mm.
is because we spend so much more time, generally speaking, with our pets than we do with most of our family members, because we become so intimate and we cuddle up to them and we pat them and we feed them and we share our intimate secrets with them. And
Yeah.
is that the
And
reason
there's
why?
unconditional love
It's,
from an animal
Mm.
that you don't like. There's always conditions on a human
Of course,
interaction.
humans can be interesting, can't they?
interesting. That's a very nice way of putting it.
There is
All right,
always
That was the PG
conditions.
version.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I think also now this is the world according to Anne. I'm about to explain to you.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
not covered in any veterinary
Okay,
class.
I love this.
I personally believe that animals like take on a role to look after us with something.
Okay.
So, for example, if there's something that really worries us or something that we're grappling with, have you noticed how they just know?
They do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
They do.
And they come over and they're like, I got you.
Yep.
And they're with you.
Yep.
And they just kind of soften
Mm.
the pain of that thing, kind of like giving us a bit more space to be able to process that thing.
Mm. Mm.
And then when they're physically not there anymore to do that, now the thing's there. Now it's like
Yep.
it's in our face and there's no softening of it. But my belief is that by then maybe there's a bit more capacity to process that thing. Right. So I remember there was a young she wasn't young, bless her. She was like in her late 70s, and she had been caring for this elderly dog who, she was the shadow of her mum. Do you know what I mean? Like they were inseparable.
Yep.
And it turns out that this little dog always was with her mum, especially when she was anxious.
Okay.
And I hear that a lot. And then when she went over the Rainbow Bridge, her mum was left without this company, support. Yep. And it turns out that she'd been grappling with a lot of emotional pain for a long time, and that had sort of been tucked in a safe place while she was with her girl. And then when her girl left, this was something that came out, and it's a story that I hear a lot.
Is that why therapy dogs are so much more a thing now?
I think so.
Therapy animals.
Animals are amazing even without training. One of my children is type 1 diabetic, and the machines that we had were not working. But our cat, who's normally very aloof, like at 2:30 a.m. in the morning, woke up my daughter by preening her eyelids with her tongue. You know how cats have got that incredibly rough tongue. Like her blood glucose was going down to a dangerous level, and our cat knew. She woke her up. That woke me up. She literally saved her life, in my opinion.
As a cat person,
yeah,
I can tell you right now. Yeah.
I'm a dog person.
No, I love dogs as well, but I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I've had some amazing cats, so I've been very lucky in that regard. But it's true. I mean, I've had some strange experiences with my cats, and when. Yeah, boring everyone to death, but I've had a fire and a flood, quite literally. And when my house was flooding, my cat woke me up in the middle of the night to let me know that the house was flooding, that a pipe had actually burst, and that our games room was now a swimming pool, right?
Wow.
But she let me know. So we'll fast forward 2 years afterwards, we actually lost our house to a bushfire.
Wow.
And little Penny was the first person, person.
I love that. That's my language.
there you go.
That is totally my lingo.
Yeah, but to big on the alerting, letting everyone know, it was something she kind of felt that she had to create a bit of urgency to get everybody moving, which is it's quite noticeable. It wasn't like it was very obviously unusual behaviour. Yeah, that really showed it.
Do you think that after a pet passes, that their spirit, their presence is still there?
Oh, that's a juicy question.
It is, isn't it?
And it's juicy because it's an area that I'm fascinated with.
Me too.
I get referrals from a lady called Tricia McGrath. I think I said her name right. Animal Talk. And she teaches people communication with animals. And I'll give you an example. Somebody very close to me had a little ratty. And this ratty was the most loved ratty on the planet.
What's
She
the
got
ratty?
rat.
Oh,
Rat.
okay.
Rat.
She like lived on her mum like the whole time, got like organic breakfast. I kid you not, the best of the best. And this dear little child had given her baby rat a gift of a toy. And you know how rats are like indestructible. They chew through solid plastic and it's just roughage. You know, it just comes out. I don't know how they do that. But yeah, that little rat died because of this toy that she wasn't meant to eat, but she ate.
Oh.
And this dear little child was absolutely beside herself. If you can imagine feeling like you've killed your own child, I imagine, although I don't want to, I imagine that's probably how she felt.
Wow.
Inconsolable. I got her into a consult with Trisha. And Trisha connected with her little ratty. There was like a point where, you know, there's that thing where only you and them know.
Yes.
So Trisha validated that this was her ratty.
Right.
And I'm just listening going, they did not teach us this at vet school at all. I am so not ill-equipped for this conversation. Yeah. But so she first got like the validation or the confirmation, and then the message was passed from this dear little ratty to her mum, who was like a little girl at the time. And you could see the look of relief on this little girl's face. And I'm like, I don't get how that works, but it just does. And, you know, part of science is you make a theory, right? You postulate a theory and then you test the theory. And if you can repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, well, then you know, there's something to it, even if you don't understand how. Well, that's kind of what it's like dealing with Trisha. She's like
what
that.
does a trained facilitator and practitioner of thought field therapy do? What does that mean?
Thought field therapy is an amazing modality that helps people deal with trauma. I went through a lot myself, which is the reason why, you know, I chose this career, because every time I get to help somebody with something that I was traumatized by, it's like a healing journey for me. I get to do that thing that I wish I could have done better or wish I had done for my little one. TRTP is an amazing modality helping people, just generally speaking. Anybody with trauma-based say body issues, for example, fibromyalgia, that sort of stuff.
Skin conditions?
Yes. And also I remember a weird story about someone who was the most accident-prone person ever. Like this man had, like if there was an accident waiting to happen example.
He could find it?
He was it. He really was. I kid you not, like multiple accidents with vehicles while he was walking, while he was on a bike, while he was in a vehicle. He even went on holiday. I think he was in Singapore, and some random rock on top of a building fell off the building and landed on the back of his heel and bung his Achilles tendon. Like, seriously?
That's crazy.
What are the chances of that?
Yeah, just
was he single?
Very appropriate question to ask. But
recently single,
yeah, recently. He had the TRTP done, and I would highly recommend if anybody's struggling with anxiety, all that. What am I thinking?
Is it to do with tapping as well or not?
Tapping it's a different modality. It's kind of like they're both fruit
different.
and they make a great fruit salad.
Yeah, okay.
But and I use tapping and I use TRTP for my own trauma stuff.
Okay, so and you impart this on your furry friends as well?
Not so much the furry people, and I mean furry and fluffy, because to me they are like beings in little coats, or in some cases very large coats. So I see them as little entities of their own that deserve that love and respect, which is why I don't say the dog is an it. I say, Fluffy or you know,
I've got
she
so
or
many
he.
questions for you,
Please,
but I know
go.
that I'm hogging it.
No,
So I
hog
don't know
away,
if
'cause-
somebody else's turn.
Did I answer your question? I understand that a lot of trauma causes pain, and the pain really comes up with grief. So, for example, the lady that I was helping as I was walking into the studio today, I was using the access clearing statement with her.
Yes. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
So how many years does one study to become a vet? That's part A. And part B is what age did you realize that you wanted to be a vet?
When I was 9.
Wow.
When I was 9, I was sitting in the bottom of my aviary and looking at my little quails. That's exactly it. They look like little.
Did you
like
know
little,
that?
Well, I
I
don't
had
know.
aviaries too.
Yeah. And I had quails. So there you go.
Aviaries
There you are.
there.
So I was thinking, man, I love these little guys. They just, especially when they're little babies and they've got like one tuft of hair on top of their head, and it just looks like the heaviest thing in the world, the way they move their heads. It just takes 10 seconds to fall in love with them and a lifetime to get over them if they don't make it. And I thought, my dad's like a doctor for cars. He was a mechanic and he taught people how to be mechanics at a college.
Okay.
My mum was a nurse for humans, for people.
Yeah.
So I thought, wow.
Let's close out the market. Let's get everybody.
You actually have all these thought processes at 9? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. You have no idea how many thought processes go through it.
Well, clearly
This dear lady has to deal with me.
I mean, you have to be very intelligent to study as a vet.
I
mean,
literally,
it's the top percent, isn't it?
yeah, you know, I literally got in by the skin of my teeth into veterinary medicine. I see it more as I'm passionate about what I do. So when you're passionate about something, you know, you live and breathe it, and it's something that you just soak in because you love it so much.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit OCD / perfectionistic, a bit crazy about. Like I remember my dad coming into my my flat when I was young and single in my veterinary studies, and like in the kitchen was every forearm of every creature you could have, like all color coded, so you could see like big to small on the right hand side, all the different muscles. And then in the bathroom there was, you know, like the back leg of some, you know, like
so not creepy at all.
Halloween real body parts.
Well, no, just pictures.
Just clarify that. Okay. You're not the bone collector. Okay.
Yeah. There's nobody in my cellar
that's what she meant as
this
well.
week. I felt quite overwhelmed with the amount I had to learn. So my theory was I'll make friends with it at my own time. So just break things into small chunks.
Yes.
And if I saw things over and over again in a relaxed way, my prayer was that maybe it would soak into my subconscious.
Yeah.
So that was my big grand plan for getting through.
Yeah.
Well, the anatomy of all these animals, this is the thing about veterinary science is that all these animals are very, very different. It's not like, okay, a doctor.
A human.
Yeah, I'll study this bit. Everyone's got basically the same bits, couple of differences.
Apart from male and female.
Yeah.
That's very true. I hadn't actually thought of it like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So someone who can work on a dog and a cat, very, very different to a bird, with, you know, hollow bones.
And a crocodile.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I guess I grew up with a bit of a menagerie. So I found it interesting that our same vet looked after our horses, our cow, our dogs, our chooks. Like there's a lot to cover.
Yeah. It gets a little. Maybe I shouldn't mention this, but I think it might give people a little bit of hope. My first ever veterinary consult. You know, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees, and there's a little paralysis by analysis. So I had all of these, like it felt like an exam question. This dear little lady came in with her little chihuahua. I remember her name was Mrs. McDonald. I remember thinking that was quite funny.
The chihuahua was called Mrs. McDonald.
She had a farm.
No, the lady.
She had a farm. EI, no.
Anything's possible. And so this dear little dog had vomiting and diarrhea.
Okay.
Right, it's not rocket science, right? But I was just like, I don't know what to do. Like I can't think what to do. I panicked, and I went, "Be right back." And I calmly went out the door to my boss, and I said, "What?" And where do I start? All I can think about is dilated cardiomyopathy, which is like the red herring question for a chihuahua in an exam. He goes,
Oh, really?
oh my goodness. So he said, Anne, just do a thorough exam, start from the nose, go to the butt, then treat based on the symptoms.
Nose to butt.
Nose to butt.
Okay.
Nose to butt. Yeah, that's high tech.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Just treat the symptoms and ask her to come back in a couple of days if it's not right, and we'll ring up and make sure everything's okay. I went, okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Nose to butt. Anyway, so did what he said, gave the medicine, and the little dog went home. And about 20 minutes later, little Mrs. McDonald rings and speaks to the nurse, and I hear the nurse pick up the phone and go, yes, that's her first day with us. She is new in this practice. She didn't tell her that was my first ever consult, ever in my life. And Mrs. McDonald said, would you like the thermometer back? This poor little dog had gone home with this thermometer. I mean, chihuahuas are only this big, had gone home with this thermometer stuck in her bottom and pooed it out on the lawn when she got home. You know how much cred I lost with the nurses? It took months to get that back. But I thought,
they laughed then?
Oh, they did, yeah.
Oh, they would have taken the mickey out of you.
This is a classic, you either laugh or cry kind of moment, isn't it? But I thought, you're allowed to suck at stuff and then go, well, that was not quite going to plan. I'll just
that is hilarious.
work that one out and get better at it.
Thank you for sharing, because I think people listening will get a lot of, not only humour, but realise where you've come now.
That's right.
I do not leave them up there anymore.
No.
No, look, I think
I actually don't even take thermometer temperature things anymore.
I think you've set the temperature for the show. So let's have a quick
You're
break.
welcome.
Back in just a tick. It's Edge Radio Australia.
Is pain holding you back? Bowen Therapy with Panacea Healing can change that for you. It's never too late to recharge your health, career, or purpose. You have the power within yourself to change what no longer serves you, taking your life and health to another level. panaceahealing.com.au. You can do anything.
Hello and welcome back to Edge Radio Australia and The One Thing. And we are talking to Dr. Ann from Pets at Peace. Now, Dr. Ann, we were talking about your funny scenario with the thermometer and the chihuahua. Now, I'm going to ask you a question that I think most people want to know, and this is something that we had to make a decision very recently. And I remember you coming in for a Bowen and I said, I hope you're doing this in 6 years' time, because we had adopted a 6-year-old dog called Ash, and he came to us for 4 months. He lived with us for 4 months. So big dogs, they don't have a long lifespan. And in our situation, we've always had bigger dogs, and that around the 12-year mark, that's when they go. So I said to Dr. Ann, this time I don't want to just take our dog to the vet and make a decision. I'd like a vet to come home, because I think that's important, to be with the family, be with people. Anyway, we didn't get the opportunity to do that because unfortunately we had to make a decision while we were away to have Ash euthanized. Now, the question or something that I want to explore with you is, how do you truly know when to consider euthanasia?
Yeah, and that is such a good question. It's the question. And it's actually the reason why I set up the service 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because despite me being a vet with 10 years experience, all the machines, the data, the medicine, when I was in that position where I was the mum, and my little guy, who was a cat, he was a Burmese, he was like my caretaker. If I was not well, I'd wake up and he'd be like right there on my chest,
right,
or wrapped around my head or whatever.
Yeah.
He was my baby when I was pregnant with my first baby.
Yeah.
And I couldn't see the wood for the trees because I was trying so hard to get it right that I missed the point. I was waiting for absolute certainty. you know, so that I could be sure that I wasn't making a mistake and that I was doing it right by him. And there's a big part of me that as well that was going, but I'm a vet. I'm meant to keep him alive.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
have I given up on him if I euthanize him?
Yeah,
That's hard.
And even though you could see by the data that his kidneys were in catastrophic failure, the light had literally was starting to fade from him, and he was just sort of sitting there staring and kind of occasionally twitching, and he just wasn't himself.
He wouldn't have been
anymore.
in pain because you would have had him on meds, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. But you've got to be careful how many meds you give when they're in when they're
renal
in
failure.
renal failure, because the kidneys, of course,
course.
can't cope with stuff. Long story slightly shorter, if I realised that I was unwilling to suffer the uncertainty of now or now or now or now.
Well, when's the right time? Like,
Exactly.
it's-
Oh, I'll come to that. After that, I did get some awareness around a process that I use all the time for working that out. I promise I'll cover that.
In the slightly shorter version.
Yeah, in the shorter version. So I realized that because I was unwilling to suffer the uncertainty, he suffered for me instead of me suffering. And if I could just take it all back, like just wind back time, I would say, sweet little boy, let me take this burden from you. Let me be the one that takes that uncertainty and let me suffer so you don't have to. Because see, there's suffering. If you were 2 and you broke your leg, you suffer because your body's saying, stop using your leg so I can fix it, right? At the end of 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, you got a leg that works again usually. But this kind of suffering, when it's organ failure or end of the life cycle, that suffering just, in my opinion, is the body's way of saying, okay, let's make it so you don't want to be here anymore and you leave, right? Every time I get to do this for someone, I feel like I can scratch the itch that I can't do for him. I can't make it right for him, but I can use what I learnt and I can, like, in his honor, and I can help others not look back with regret. It's hard to miss them. It really is. It's hard to make the decision. But one thing that I have learned is to get clarity, take all the humans out of the conversation.
Brilliant point.
Take all the humans out of the clinical picture. And if the humans didn't have a say and it was purely about what is your quality of life like from here on in, then like that is the answer right
I
there.
feel like I had that with my previous dog. And that's why this decision was made very much straight down the line. It's done because she was in a lot of suffering for 3 weeks.
Yeah, got it.
And, very similar to your cat. It's like, when's the right time? Didn't know what to do. We're in and out of the vet, but they weren't giving us what we wanted to hear.
Yeah, okay.
And we were continuing on this cycle and this path.
Yeah, it can be hard to, especially as the vet. I know being in those moccasins, you want to guide people and go, look at this.
Yeah.
But you want them to come to the decision themselves. Although some vets are very good at saying, look, if I was in your shoes, this is what I would do. And I respect us. And I am supporting you for what you feel is right for your little one.
So you go to people's homes?
I go to people's homes, and typically I'll give you an example. Beautiful Peggy on Sunday, little sort of Staffy Cross girl. She's got a tumor in her shoulder, and her family, they made the decision based on their own criteria, but I will share the criteria, I promise, Aaron.
Okay.
When they had her in the garden where she wanted to be. She had her bed out in the sun. They had some, what's it called? Ribeye cubes, warm,
Sounds like a
medium
good way
rare.
to go, actually.
Yeah.
Mate, seriously,
The sun
I
with
don't
a
know if I'm
steak.
loved some days compared to these guys.
Put a glass
and
of
how
wine
much.
out.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty close with Peggy. It was pretty close. So she was in the sun with her family, feeding her the yummy stuff. And while she was eating it, I gave her a little bit of medicine under the skin, like a normal vax. Just like a process she's used to. That medicine is the stuff that humans try to break into the vet for.
All right.
I heard from an 84-year-old lady. She reckons that when she had something similar in hospital, she reckons it was delightful, she said.
Delightful.
Delightful. I thought, well, I'm going to have to quote you on that. But I've had people back her up and say, I had that in the ambulance for a broken bone. And I told the ambos I loved them.
Is this the stuff that's in the whistle?
No. When the whistle doesn't quite do the job, then they bring out this gear.
I get full of love with that whistle.
Yeah, you would absolutely.
Mr. Romantic.
Mr. Romantic. That's why he wants to go in the ambo.
Well, I tell you what, this beautiful, within half a minute, their body just starts to feel better, and then within 2 to 6 minutes they fall asleep, probably feeling the best they've felt in ages. Right. Well, Miss Peggy made the most of it. She ate the entire ribeye steak, and then her family cracked a beer for her.
Yeah, beautiful.
Well done.
She literally had like a little bowly thing of beer.
Yeah.
She was so happy. You should have seen. She was like,
So with the work that you do, is this all you do now? Euthanasia? Is that your business?
In my veterinary, So I established the service 10 years ago because of Kimmy, and I did initially in the earlier years. I did a little bit of vet work with another vet, just as a general vet, and I did enjoy that. But every time somebody would need me for this, I would feel like heartbroken that I couldn't be there for them.
Yeah, I understand.
So I ended up letting the vet go, the general vet medicine work go. Yep. And now I feel a little bit like a home birth midwife, but sort of down the other end. Sacred
end of life
journey.
midwife.
It's just an absolute honour to be there at a time and just to see them get that relief.
I'll give it a crack. Why not?
Oh, you want the process?
No. Going somewhere else on this one. No, through another show that we actually have here, Soul Birth. We've had many wonderful guests, and one of our guests was actually an end of life midwife. Doula. Sorry, you're quite correct.
End of life doula.
And like I first thought that's a weird thing, really. But you're basically doing the same sort of thing for pets.
Yeah.
And you're right. These little animals are members of your family, the people that you love, said it again, right? But it's it's incredibly sensitive time. When I'll use my dog as an example again, when my shepherd, Spike, very original name.
Spike.
We spent a lot of time on that name.
Awesome name.
I was very young when we got him. I didn't spend all the time on the name. Anyway, when he got to the point where he was passing away, he lived as a shepherd, right? Shepherd Labby Cross, to 13, which is like, wow, right? Mainly because my mum used to feed him full of calcium because we always knew the hips are going to go. That's what happens with shepherds, right? So anyway, he had more calcium than you know what to do with.
Probably had calcium deposits.
Maybe,
Details.
Well, grew up in a part Indian house, so it used to be 50% rice, 50% dog food, and that's how, and then all the supplements. Anyway, he had a very, very healthy life, but at the end of his life, it happened very suddenly, and his hips just gave, and it was really horrendous.
Wow.
And I was the only one there to look after him at that stage of life. So, it was very difficult because you've got to make the decision, which is unbelievably hard for someone you love. But in that case, they just came and picked him up, it was like. It felt more like a disposal service, right? And this is a dog I love very, very much, and I'd had since since I was a child or teen or whatever. Yeah. So to actually have someone who does it, it's far more gentle and it's done there. I can really see the difference. Yeah.
And it's beautiful to see them finally out of pain.
Yes.
And you do get the odd occasional person crack a snore, which then cracks a laughter from everybody else.
Okay.
Because as they fall asleep and they're snoring away, I reckon it's amazing how some little people have these big snores and these big animals just have like little delicate snores. But it is so nice to see them like so peaceful and just like literally melted into wherever they are. In fact, I don't know if you guys have seen that picture of, like when you have, is it the ancient Romans in their togas?
Yeah.
with this on the couch with the sandals and the palm fronds with the grapes.
Yeah.
It's kind of that
It's
vibe
kind of like that.
for the furry person.
Hang on, togas. Is there a yard
Minus
glass?
the toga.
Is
Minus
there
the
a yard glass?
So how do people know? What are some of the signs and symptoms? So you're not going to the vet with your pet, or the pet's starting to get old, and your beautiful family member is starting to suffer, and you can see the changes. What are some of those major changes that you can?
I think it is a good idea to either get a mobile vet out or to take them if they're comfortable. Like if they freak out, the vets don't do that to them. Or yourself, just get a mobile vet in to get like a plan going. And usually they have like a quality of life assessment sheet.
Okay.
Right. So they do that for your fur family as well.
Yeah.
I love that.
So I have a lot of people who do that when they're like, oh, things are not going that great. So they'll take them in, or they'll get somebody to come out and make up a plan, right? And then they'll get it double checked when they see certain markers come up.
Okay.
Just to be sure. Yeah. Having said that,
is that a specific service for Irish dogs?
Yes.
I wish I had to come back for that. That was so good. Man, you're quick. If one of my children were here, I'm sure, or my husband, they'd be like in there with something awesome. The advice I normally give people is don't wait until they stop eating.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of what the old advice I think has been. But
Right.
a lot of animals will. Have you guys seen Monty Python?
Yes.
You know the guy who goes, "Come back, you chicken. It's just a flesh wound."
I love that. I
Like
absolutely
fight like a
love
man. By the way, for those of you who haven't seen Monty Python, this is a knight in his shining armor who has no arms. He has no legs. He only has teeth, and he could only bite you if he tried. But he's like totally playing down that the wheels have fallen off, and I think animals are very similar. So by the time they get to the point where it's number one, obvious, and number two, where they just can't eat anymore, either because of pain or because they feel so sick, then that's kind of advanced. Like you could kind of
And
find
sometimes they just mask it.
Exactly. They even boys put on their big girl undies.
Yeah.
Sometimes
100%.
they mask it and you have no idea what happens. All of a sudden, bang.
And best laid plans of mice and men. You can have these fabulous plans. You can only do your best with the plans.
Absolutely.
It's like they stop eating that day and you're like, oh, I didn't want it to go that way. But you do the best you can with what you got.
I wanted to ask Anne about the financial side of it, because in reality, there's some people out there that are just not coping to feed their families, let alone their pet.
Yeah.
So I know some people have, as I did previously, pet insurance, which would cover this. But for anybody that needs this service, is there any council contributions towards this type of service?
That's a fabulous question. I know there's a company called VetPay. VetPay are kind of like Afterpay, but for vet bills, including cremation bills.
Okay.
And what I've seen is like they may have a $1,500 bill between the vet and the cremation company, or like normal vet bills as well. And they'll pay it off at like $20 or $40 a fortnight.
That's
Or
excellent
something.
to know.
So,
yeah.
they can just breathe a sigh of relief and get what they need without freaking out.
Yeah.
Because
it can add up.
Vet bills are
You know,
terrifying.
Look, I was scared to have children after I saw how much vet bills cost.
Children are cheap in comparison.
I was just like, at least we got Medicare for them,
that's right.
Otherwise, that'd just be insane.
Yeah.
But vet pay is a good one.
Okay.
Absolutely, insurance is, and I want to support you on that. Once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away, I owned the Lansdale Animal Hospital and Ellenbrook Woodland, the Wood Lakes Animal Clinic. That was back before GST. Well, now I feel old. And we were in a snake kind of area there. So from November to March, you'd get like one week where there was an issue. And what I said to the families was, you have two choices here. You can put like away a couple of bucks a day, and at the end of 3 months, you'd have 2 times 90, which is $180. that's not going to cover much. Or you could pay someone else to worry for you. So you pay an insurance company, and at the end of the 90 days, you'd be covered for $10,000 or $20,000, like for the year.
Yeah.
So I just see it as being able to
Peace of mind.
really enjoy them, because
Yeah.
you're not worried about what's gonna, like,
Happen.
what if something happens?
Yeah, it's what if money.
No, 100%.
Yes.
Any insurance is what if
And it
money.
can really, one of my friends, she's like exceeded 20,000 for the year,
Yeah.
Whoa.
because her dog doesn't have like necessarily like inherited diseases, but she just loves eating everything.
Oh, wow. My logic is that if you can't afford insurance, then you can't afford whatever it
It's
is.
a bit like going on holiday. If you can't afford the overseas insurance, then maybe don't go on
Yeah.
holiday, and if something horrible happens.
Mm.
But I was going to say, coming back to how do people know, I do have some criteria. Is it okay if I cover them?
Absolutely.
So now at our house we call it the 3 spunkies and still eating rule, which is a very long title. I
Three
know.
spunkies and
3 spunkies and still eating rule. I know, it's
3
a mouthful.
spunkies?
1, 2, 3.
Who's eating well?
Yeah.
REAL.
Rule. It's still
rule.
eating
R-U-
rule.
RULE.
Take my
Okay.
speaking course.
RULE.
Yeah. Exactly. So still eating is just exactly that. Still
Okay.
eating,
Yep.
if you can. But they can change
Yeah.
that over 24 hours or 12 hours, right? So you never know. The 3 spunkies, what is that? The 3 spunkies are the 3 characteristics that your baby has that if you saw another dog or another cat or another ratty or whoever doing that particular behavior, you'd be like, oh, that's just like my baby. But,
Okay.
it really reminds you of them.
Yep.
So my boy Kimmy, he was Burmese cat, and I kid you not, at 5 o'clock, it's like his wristwatch told him it's food time, right? He'd stand at the front of the front door and he'd yell at me. And we even had a neighbor coming across the road one day thinking something terribly was wrong because, of this noise coming from our house. But it was just him complaining because the morning biscuits were not quite
Wasn't happy
up to
with them, not
standard
expect-
compared to the afternoon biscuits, which were still not there, right? So when it was Kimmy's time, he on-off was there, but there was like a substandard yowl. It was
Yeah.
like a meh.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
Yeah.
there was no complaining really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was his. Yeah.
That was, so I noticed that his spunky thing, which was this peculiar behavior that he did, the
was off.
gazon, it was subpar. Lackluster is
Yeah.
actually the best way to say it.
Yep.
It was less than 50% of its usual, spunk.
Yeah.
Right.
Missing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, beautiful. So there'll be
I love
three. There'll be 3 behaviors
Okay.
usually that people have that they can see. Another one was little guy Bruno. He was a Frenchie, with the ears, and he was like a tornado of love and
Okay.
saliva. Right.
Oh.
Apparently, everybody was warned when they got to his house. Let Bruno do his thing. He's going to greet you. He's going to love and saliva you up. Just stand still. It's okay.
I can't
No
enter
limbs
that
will be
house.
lost. And then he'll leave you alone because now he's done his thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Well, when it was Bruno's time, he was still all love and saliva with his little butt doing that. But he couldn't meet you at the door.
Okay.
Now you had to come to him, and he was like, hi.
Yeah.
So it was less than 50%.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there'll be 3 characteristic behaviors. All right. Might be going for a walk, playing with a toy, or a routine.
Chasing pigeons.
Yes, exactly. So I haven't had that one yet, but yeah, something like that, right? So when's a good time to call the vet? Well, when the eating is still there and maybe one of those behaviors is still there and it's over 50%, just one's left and it's over 50%, but it's like that balance between, we're literally catching them on the way down before they hit despair.
Yeah. Because you
Before
don't
it's
want them in
super
despair.
obvious for
No,
us.
nowhere in the world.
You want to sort of have a bit of doubt in your mind if you can. Because if you've got a bit of doubt still in your mind, well, then it's because there's little sparkles of their happiness still there. They haven't lost it all.
Yeah.
Right.
If only we could have that for
humans.
yeah.
Apparently they do now.
Yeah,
but it's,
you have to be
there's
really
a lot of paperwork that goes with it.
Mm.
The other time to call the vet would be if they're still eating, but maybe and all the characteristics are still there. The spunkies are still existent, but all of them are under 50%.
Mm.
Okay, so still eating and you've got 1 over 50, or still eating and you've got 3 under 50.
I discovered that over 50, that all my spunkies have disappeared. Simple as that.
I don't know, Aaron.
It's just a different spunky, Aaron.
Oh, okay. At least diminished quite substantially. Absolutely
An evolved
fantastic.
spunky.
How do we get hold of you for our viewers and who want to know more?
Don't ring the ambulance.
No?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, that's
ring
so
Dr.
amazing.
Ann.
Pets a Peace Home Vet. Do you want me to give my phone number?
You
Yeah,
can, or
exactly.
yeah,
The
links, whatever.
The best way to get a hold of me is to SMS me, because it's just I am great at SMS, but voicemail, it's too many.
Yeah.
So my mobile number 0434 380 400, and can I say it again?
You
Yes.
sure can.
0434 380 400. And if you SMS me,
Yeah.
I would sometimes you just need someone to bounce it off.
Yes.
True.
Oh,
You
that's
know?
a really good one.
And I remember talking to Brian the Beagle's mum, right, because he
Mm.
had a tumor on his face. She's like, oh, I just don't know. I don't feel it's right time now, but I don't know how he's going to cope. I started talking to her in March, and we made an appointment for 2 weeks later. And I said to her, look, just tell me the day before, or we can have a chat about how he's going. I don't think it was until end of June that year.
Yeah.
We had chatted so much by then. I
Yeah.
felt like we were old friends.
Yes,
Right.
yeah.
So it's not a bother at all for me. In fact, it's a pleasure for me to have someone have some clarity, because it comes with peace. And the more peaceful the family is, the more peaceful their furry person is. But also my promise to their furry person is, in whatever way I am involved, and it may just be a phone call, my promise to the furry person is that I will look after their family. And that my promise to the family, if I end up doing the appointment, is that I will make it as peaceful as I can for their furry person.
Do you, as part of the service, organise the disposal of the?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I pretty much work with whichever company they would like, and I just copy paste the data that they give me, organise it all for them. The only thing I can't organise is, what they would like with the urn and that sort of stuff. But not 98% of what they need organised before the appointment, I do, and I CC them in so they feel like they've got some control over it as well. But
Excellent.
it's so hard to organise humans at a time like that I'm happy. My love language is service. So for me, it's a pleasure to be able to just extend it a little bit more and make sure that they get that peace of mind, knowing that they don't have to think of anything except for the smorgasbord. The smorgasbord of contraband is a very important job, and for the appointment. And that, by the way, as a nice thing to add in, kids, when you're not sure what to do with the kids, have them be part of the smorgasbord, right?
Yeah.
Have them be part of organising what they would like to have on there. I had one little boy who couldn't be there, but he organised little cheese love hearts. Little cheese love hearts was what he put on there.
Smorgasbord for the cat. Isn't that
Yeah.
lovely?
Well,
I
it was
love that.
Never thought of that.
It's preferably contraband, all
Right.
the things that they're not meant to have that they always.
So it's their last meal?
It is their
Oh,
last meal. And you should
And you'll
see
help them out
how
with it?
happy their eyes are
Yeah.
when their eyes light up going, mine, 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 mine. For me, they're just so happy when they see it. And the other thing I want to say with children is let them choose.
Yeah.
Don't try and protect them,
Mhm.
because Gabor Mate, who's a doctor for
Yeah,
humans,
Gabor Mate, yep.
he talks about that the trauma in children happens when they feel alone and unheard, unvalidated in what they want to choose, right? So I don't know if I misquoted that, but that's basically it. It's pretty much that. So I say to the family, look, I explain everything. Most kids decide to stay because it is so peaceful, but there's not a right or a wrong. It's what the person needs so that they are peaceful.
We're all made of different stuff. And some people need to be there to say goodbye, others don't.
And some people do the in-between. They're just there for the smorgasbord, just there for the food, and let them fall asleep feeling loved with the people that they know. And then when they don't know anything anyway, because when they're asleep, when I put them, so they get that local anesthetic, the general anesthetic goes under the skin, the first one, then they just fall asleep as if we're about to do surgery. From then on, they know nothing. So the family who aren't really sure, they can go then. True. And they have had the best of both worlds. They can be there while they're falling asleep, so there's no panicking on their furry person's behalf, going, where's my mom, where's my dad? But they can look back going, whoa, it was hard, but I did it for them.
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
regrets, right? And but they don't have to go and see the other stuff, which can be a little bit discombobulating.
It can be. We're at the end of the show.
What? Already?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Time flies.
It does.
Well,
It goes really quickly.
It does. Any last thoughts there, Leanne? Just put you completely on the spot.
Yeah. One last thought. After Ash passed away, so this is this thing on the end. He used to love chasing pigeons, doves, whatever. There on his peephole out the front of our house, on his peephole, not peephole, was a dove feather.
Oh,
nice.
So there you go.
And look
So
out
I
for
believe
that.
that they're still there
Yeah.
after.
I hear that a lot, actually.
Yeah,
I
feathers
do.
are a really good sign of that.
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting.
Love it.
Well, thank you very much for being part of The One Thing. Thank you, Dr. Ann. Really appreciate that.
My honour and pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for
loved it.
sharing.
Do
I was
you
all
think-
nervous coming in. I love it.
Yeah.
Piece of cake. We do this all the time.
Yeah.
Thanks for being part of The One Thing here at Edge Radio Australia.
Bye.
See you next week. Ever felt lost online finding the right businesses?
Absolutely, like a needle in a haystack.
Introducing the Worldwide Awake Business Directory.
Tell me more.
It's your hub for businesses sharing your values. Discover eco-friendly products, socially responsible services, and more.
Count me in. I'll check it out straight away.
Find businesses aligned with your values on the Worldwide Awake Business Directory. Start making a difference with every purchase.